Welcome to this next lecture on copulation and cocoon formation in earthworms. As we know that earthworms are hermaphrodite, but they are protandrous. So the only option with the earthworm is of cross fertilization. Hence cross fertilization takes place in earthworms. So the process of copulation is the process of transfer of spermatozoa from one organism to another organism. So process of transferation of sperm of one worm to another worm for the purpose of cross fertilization, that is known as copulation. Copulation takes place during rainy season, that is from July to October at night hours or in the early hours of the morning before the sunrise. During copulation, the two animals, they lie closer to each other as shown in the diagram. They lie very close to each other and are ventrally attached due to the secretion of the gland, accessory glands of the male. So these two animals, they lie closer to each other and they get ventrally attached in opposite direction in such a way that the male genital pore of one worm lie opposite to the spermatical pore of other one. Both the worm remain united together by the secretion of accessory glands and also by mutual penetration of the CT in each other's body. Sperms and prostatic fluid of each worm, they are exchanged between themselves. So both the worms, they exchange their sperm and prostatic fluid, and that sperm and prostatic fluid is then stored in the spermatheca through which is received through spermatical pore. Copulation remain up to an hour, so it lasts for up to an hour. Then the two worms, they get separated and later they lay their eggs in the cocoon. Now we will see how the cocoon is formed. Cocoon formation takes place after copulation when the ovaries are mature. That means before fertilization but after copulation, when the ovaries are matured, at that time the cocoon is formed. The epidermis of clitellum, that means the part of body from 14th segment to 16th segment, is a clitellum. So that epidermis of clitellum contains three kinds of glands. One is unicellular mucus gland, second type of gland cocoon secreting gland, and third one is albumin gland. These three type of glands, they help in formation of cocoon. One by one we will see the role of each gland. Firstly, unicellular mucus gland, it produces mucus for copulation. Then cocoon secreting gland secrete the wall of cocoon. Also it secrete a gelatinous, viscid and sticky substance which form a membrane girdle. This membrane girdle, when come in contact with air, it becomes tough and hard. So actual cocoon membrane is nothing other than this membrane girdle. Then third type of gland, albumin gland cells, they produce albumin which serve as a nourishment for the developing embryo. It is deposited between girdle and the body wall. The girdle soon hardens on exposure to air into a tough but elastic tube which is called cocoon, or you can say egg capsule, a capsule containing eggs. Then the worm starts to wingle behind, just like the peristaltic movement, the worms start to wingle behind so that the girdle slips forward. As the girdle passes over the female genital pore, as the girdle comes near the female genital pore in the 14th segment, it receives ova from the female genital pore and then it passes up to the spermatheca. When it passes up to the spermatheca, from the spermatheca it receives sperm which are deposited by the other earthworm during copulation. So from this spermatheca it receives the sperms. So now the cocoon have both egg and sperms inside it. Finally the girdle is thrown off from the anterior end. Slowly this girdle moves anteriorly and finally it is thrown out from the anterior end. Soon the elasticity of its wall closes up the two ends of the cocoon to form a closed cocoon or ootheca. Several cocoons are formed after each copulation because the spermatozoa in the spermatheca, they do not pass out all at one time. So one by one the spermatheca, they are released, and one by one the cocoons are produced. So several cocoons are produced by each worm. The cocoon which are released, they are barrel shaped, as we can see in the diagram, small in size and barrel in shape. They are light yellow in color, and each cocoon measures about 2 to 3 millimeters in length, and 2 millimeters wide cocoons are there. Now we will see the process of fertilization. Fertilization takes place inside the cocoon, where each ovum is fertilized by the sperm. As we can see, as we already seen that each cocoon contain both egg as well as sperm. So inside the cocoon fertilization takes place. As a rule, there is only one embryo which develops. Only one fertilized egg proceed to develop new individuals, and rest of the embryo they degenerates. Soon the cocoon contains many fertilized egg. Each cocoon contains many fertilized egg, but only one earthworm can emerge out from one cocoon. The development is direct, there is no larval stage. So the fertilized egg, that means zygote, directly you can say develops into the young one. This young one is similar to the adult. The only difference is that young one is smaller in size and it do not have clitellum. However, the adults, they are larger in size, having a clitellum. So in this diagram we can easily see the development and fertilization process. Here we can see the sperms from this testes, they are carried up to male genital pore, and this male genital pore then release the sperm into spermatheca of this another worm. Similar case occurs here also. So in this way the there is transfer of sperms from one animal to another animal. When the copulation takes place, after copulation, this clitellum, it produces, or the gland cells present in clitellum, they produce the cocoon. This cocoon receives egg and also it receives the sperm. This girdle, when passes forward, finally this girdle is released from the anterior end, and while this girdle released from the anterior end, it both ends they are closed, and now such cocoon, a complete cocoon, or you can say ootheca, is formed. Each ootheca contain many fertilized egg. However, only one egg it develops, and remaining eggs are utilized by that developing egg, and that egg develops into the young one, and finally the young worm emerge out of the cocoon. So this is the process of fertilization and you can say development of earthworms.